Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If Mhm. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. Mm. Oh, guys. I'm just going to get these cards ready. And then I have something really important to share. Um, let me kind of just let me just get a hold of myself. Mm. So I have some updates. And they're hard. These are very difficult updates. Very difficult. So you guys heard me talk about this young man. I've been referring to him as Scrappy. Um, mm, mm. I've been referring to him as Scrappy, and last Thursday he was taken into custody for a 10-second fight in the bathroom. There was a video. The fight was about 10 seconds long. His opponent was much larger than him. Someone who was keeping his property would not give it back, and there were some veiled threats. Well, I received what was said as veiled threats. I'm so livid on behalf of this family. Ten seconds defending himself. He's still in jail. They won't release him on bail. And from what I was made aware of, the judge was presented with, and let me just put the links up. The judge was presented information by the public defender, and he was made aware that there was security footage from the school that shows after the fight, 10-second fight between two teens. After the fight, the other child, 'cause they're still children, and Scrappy were shaking hands like, okay, whatever the drama was, it's done. It's done. So clearly the other child was not knocked out. Um, because that's what the judge is basically holding him without bail, because they're alleging that the other child, who is much larger than Scrappy, was knocked out, and that Scrappy apparently is super violent and kept hitting him while he was knocked out. Not true at all. It's in the video. The judge did not care. Didn't care. This is a really small person. He's smaller than pretty much everyone else at school. There is a history of him having been bullied. And this is the first time he stuck up for himself. It's been a week. A week. And I don't know if my understanding is wrong, but I believe they're trying to still try him as an adult for aggravated assault for a 10-second bathroom fight that the other child, who is much larger than him, agreed to. And according to what the prosecutor, not the prosecutor, the public defender said, um, that child has no injuries. No injuries. None. There's no injuries. And if I remember right, it was even shared with the judge that they don't even have any marks on their face. Scrappy's still in jail. It's been a week. As who's the judge? Let me get that info. I believe it's Columbia County. Hold on. I'm going to get you guys that info. It's here somewhere. Guys, as if that's not bad enough. Before his parents went to court regarding that update that I just gave you guys, apparently Scrappy's dog got loose. And someone in the neighborhood shot his dog in the head. So then his father had to go bring the dog to the vet. I'm going to put the information on the screen. In order for Scrappy to get proper legal representation, the retainer is $5,000. You guys were able to raise, I think, a couple hundred. I took the previous video down because I felt like my behavior was not appropriate representation for the family. So I took that video down. This is the judge's name. It's Judge Charles Evans of Columbia County, Georgia. So in addition to the 5,000, I'm trying to raise whatever possible to help cover at least a portion of the cost of the vet bills. Yeah. And you guys know I don't like to involve race. I don't like to involve myself in racially charged topics. I can't help but feel that this is what it's about. I can't help but feel that at this point. When you're presented information that shows your initial judgment is no longer applicable and you refuse to hear that. What other reason is there? This place that this family lives in, not trying to blame any particular people or color, but they are a minority. They are an absolute minority. And I cannot help but feel as though what's happening is a very loud, very clear message that they are not full citizens provided the full protection of the law, the full gravity of existing law, that there are exceptions being made in order to punish this family for being the wrong color. I don't say that lightly. I'm not sure when Scrappy's next appearance before the judge is. I'm trying not to be disruptive with the family and what they're going through. This is just, it's really upsetting. So I'm doing everything that I can on my end. This QR code and the link in the comment is going to be donated directly to our church. Excuse me, and the church will be giving this money, the entire, whatever the donation amount is, will be given to the family. In addition to that, I went ahead and I created a link to purchase shirts, sweatshirts, stickers, and cups. If you guys want to support the family in that way, this is really bad. This is really bad. Really, really bad. Something definitely needs to be done, and we need to get very vocal. Very, very, very vocal. I'm sorry, I did not do my due diligence and get the information on how to complain directly to the courthouse. I didn't get that information before the live stream. The judge's name is Charles Evans of Columbia County in Georgia. Charles Evans of Columbia County in Georgia. Okay. I did a quick search on him and I was able to see all of that information pop up. Y'all know I'm a reader of people, yeah? That I'm very accurate in my reading of people, my assessment of their intentions, their prejudices, all of that. I believe this is racially charged after seeing that judge's face. His picture is online. That's when it became clear to me. This is a very racially charged situation. I'm not a lawyer. And what little I do know about law, as a citizen of the United States, you are given due process. His due process has been withheld. It has been withheld. He has already been shown to not be a danger to the community, that this is an isolated incident, despite the fact that he has been bullied multiple times with the administration not doing anything about it. This is the first time he has stood up for himself. So I'm going to leave it at that because I want my communication and what I share on behalf of the family to be appropriate and a good representation of how upstanding the entire family is, from the parents to the children. They are an upstanding family. This is a very disgusting example of the injustice that still exists in our country and in the world. And we have to do something about this. I myself, my husband and I have been talking about it. We are going to be doing everything that we can personally to help continue to raise funds, including my husband loves the shirts. He's like, we all need to get several shirts so that we can help. And I'm like, yes, we will. We will. So, whatever we can do, if you guys can spread the word, once I get the green light from the family directly, because I really, really want this to be something that is very widespread, known, spoken about, so we can get as many people talking as possible. I will be launching a full-on GoFundMe so that everyone can see how much is being raised. And, honestly, it's my personal hope that this family, once they have their son back home, that they pursue some legal action for an absolute violation of Scrappy's civil liberties. This is not something we should allow anymore, not just for Scrappy, but for everyone. For everyone. We need to no longer be quiet as all of this really disgusting injustice happens. We have to begin standing for something. We have to. There is no difference between this upstanding gentleman and your child. There's no difference. He is not a thug. He is not a delinquent. He's very well raised. Very, very well raised, properly raised, very respectful. What message are we sending our children? That you have to continue to receive abusive behaviors from bullies, that no adults will protect you. Even worse, you will be punished if you protect yourself. This has to stop. It has to stop. I think our community is powerful enough to be that voice for those who don't have a voice. It's time for us to stand for something, guys. More than just being a spiritual community. We are members of society. And if enough of us speak up, change happens. Change can happen, but we have to make it happen. So let's get started. Before my heart moved me to mention the updates for Scrappy and his family. And I call him Scrappy because I don't believe it is my place to use his full legal name in a public setting. That is a minor. That is a minor. His privacy must be protected, not just respected, protected. Protected. Okay? Before I even was moved to the point where I was like, I need to share this update. I need to. Soul already told me what we're going to be talking about is the fact that a decision must now be made. A decision must now be made. There are shifts that are occurring in this world. There are things that are happening that require those of us who have an elevated, expanded understanding and clarity. It requires us to step into that role of helping to guide the way all of this will unfold. I don't know what's going to happen. Something is supposed to happen today. Maybe something energetic, maybe something global. I don't know. I don't know. But today is a date where planetary things line up to create the potentiality for circumstance. And we need to make sure, whatever this potentiality is, we need to make sure we are guiding it into a space of positivity, into a space of benefit for all people, not just one specific group, not just the elite, not just one specific gender, one specific color, one specific region, one specific ethnicity. Like, when are we going to begin to realize we are all one people? Everything in this world, everything that we are taught, all of the societal programs that are forced upon us are programs that cause us to seek out ways to divide and separate ourselves from others and others from ourselves. That way of living, that way of existing is no longer appropriate. As you know what, let's be honest here. It's never been appropriate. It's never been appropriate. Never. It's always been a way for a select few to keep us so divided that we cannot come together in agreement, unified in our diversity, diverse in our unity, so that we can actually make the changes that the world needs. We need this already. A decision must now be made. Whatever that decision is, I don't know. I hope that whatever all of us decide, it becomes something that helps all of us to heal past the things our ancestors went through, heal through the things we personally have gone through in this life, heal to the degree that we can find the courage to come together again as a singular people. It's time. It's time for everything. It's time for the healing. It's time for the change. It's time to make powerful decisions that lead to powerful movement. It's time. What we need to do, the instructions will be given to us directly into our hearts. Directly into our hearts. So, Michael's telling me to talk about something. You guys have heard me speak about trauma-induced accretion, right? A TIA, a trauma-induced accretion, is a cycle that is initiated by trauma, traumatic event, physical trauma, emotional trauma, witnessing someone else's trauma, right? It's something traumatic, and it initiates accretion, the pulling in, rapid influx of extremely high frequencies. Now, for many of us, the way we learn is through a trauma-induced accretion cycle. It sucks. It sucks because it often involves pain, tears, struggle, suffering, sacrifice, just a lot of really painful things. You know what I learned? I'm all about finding life hacks. I am. I'm freaking weird like that. I like to find the most efficient way to neutralize something I find to be an inconvenience, something I find to be an obstacle. This is one of my most highly developed skills, is finding a way around, under, above, below, or just bulldoze through that motherfucker. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Um, so for trauma-induced secretion, what I've realized, what I learned, sometimes if you can learn what that event was going to teach you through pain, if you can learn that before the event is initiated, you don't have to go through the event. You don't. You don't. You can simply learn what needs to be learned through neutral observation, and then you can begin to quantify what it is you've just learned, and then soul will give you an opportunity to put into action what it is you learned. And if you truly learned it, you avoided the event. You don't have to go through it. You can simply just keep living on to the next part, on to the next portion of learning, right? I'm learning to just deeply trust soul. There was a circumstance that happened the other day, and that circumstance has a lot to do with um, basically like cybersecurity. My systems were not compromised, but Soul had been telling me to put the appropriate cybersecurity measures in place for like a year or two already. But, you know, your girl's stubborn. I'm stubborn and I'm tech illiterate, and, I just don't want to. Um, Seeing that happen to someone that I care about, I absolutely was like, okay, Soul, yep. Which one do you want me to order? And which I did. I had to invest a considerable amount into the cybersecurity of my small business, which I did. I did. Everything's in place. Everything is in place. Um, so what did I avoid? I don't care what I avoided. All I care about is the fact that I avoided something unnecessary. I allowed myself to listen to the guidance of soul, and whatever hardship, whatever ugly, whatever that caca is, um, no, I'm not experiencing that. I don't think so. I don't think so. Hell no. And to whoever was trying to get everything into place to launch a cyber attack on my systems. Fuck you, bitches. Fuck you, bitches. God got my back. God has my back. I refuse at this point to continue the same cycles that I used to have to suffer through just because I did not want to believe and accept that creation has got me, protects me, warns me from things I don't need to experience. Now, if I'm going to choose to experience it because I refuse to believe that I'm loved and protected in that way, well, then I'm going to experience it. No, I believe it. I believe it. I believe I'm loved in ways that I don't feel yet that I'm worthy of, but I accept it. I accept the love. I accept the support. I accept the protection. And if you guys can get into that mindset and really just follow the guidance of soul, the things that you will avoid, the unnecessary things that you will avoid. A decision needs to be made now. Oh, Lord. Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, he does. Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, he does. Okay. Okay. Okay, so guys, starting today, there are things that are going to be stripped away. This sense of having like a guardian, this sense of like the awareness of something protecting you, like a tangible awareness of protection, that's going to kind of be pulled back. And it's going to be pulled back because you are being leveled up, meaning soul is giving the green light for certain types of events and experiences to be experienced by you. That includes old cycles. It includes people from the past, whether earlier in this life or way, way, way over there, past life. It's going to be allowed to come forward. There's going to be interaction. There's going to be opportunities for, I'm assuming, ugly stuff. I'm just, I don't like ugly stuff. I don't like ugly stuff. I was just, hmm. I don't think there's enough like church songs. Someone knocking. Give me 1 second. Who's that knocking on my window? Um, wait, where? Hold on, guys. You know what? I don't even care if someone's knocking. Um, I'm just being nosy. I'm just being nosy. Yeah, there's no one, girl. There's no one. There's nobody. Mind your business, girl. Mind your business, girl. Okay. So all of this is going to be able to go directly into the foundation of you, energetically speaking. For some of you, it's going to be, ooh, hold on. Is this for me? All I got to say, 223, 556, accurate up to 300 yards. That's all I'm going to say. 223, 556, accurate to 300 yards. Clover leaves, clover leaves, clover leaves. So, mm, Michael's laughing now because I take my home security very seriously. Very, very seriously. Okay. So, homeland foundation, and there's a map. There's a hint of a message that for some, if you don't begin cutting off these or sealing off these pathways, it's going to be in your home. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not friendly like that. I am not friendly like that. Unless you get a personal invitation from me directly or from my husband, you're not coming in my home. You're not welcome in my home, not through mirrors, not through anchor points, not through portals, not through none of that. Not through none of that. Absolutely not. Not through any of that at all. A decision must now be made. I think your soul is letting you know, like, hey, there's some pathways that are left open because, um, because you're leaving doors open for other people. I don't know if maybe you're pining away for someone. You're waiting for some type of opportunity. You're doing something. I don't think it's a conscious effort. Listen, listen. I know most of the people in our community, most of us are empaths, right? And then we get sad, we get upset when people that we were hoping to remain in our lives long term exit out of our lives. And sometimes that letting go is so difficult that we leave the door open just in case. Just in case. Do you know how I live my life? If you're visiting me and you go out to your car to get something, there's a high likelihood either myself, my children, or my husband will lock that deadbolt as you go out. I'm not even joking. It happens all the time. Like if one of us didn't hear that you're coming back in, soon as you go out that door, that deadbolt is locked. And the other locks are locked as well. And then, of course, you're gonna try and get in, and then whoever locked it's gonna be like, "Oh my god, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Come on in." Right? Whatever has already been removed, you were protected from that. You were being protected. Did a relationship end? Did a friendship end? Did um did you have to cut off family? Did you did you lose your phone and you lost everyone's phone number? I would say you're being protected. I would say you're being protected. You know, one time I think someone was trying to access my phone. This was years ago. I think someone was trying to access my phone. And you know what happened? My phone got the screen of death. hmm It was just the Apple icon and then just like a circle rolling around it, rolling around, rolling around. It wouldn't load anything. It wouldn't load anything. And so I had to get a completely new phone. And you know, another time, oh my gosh, another time, there was this group of disgusting bastards. That's that is what I will call them. Disgusting bastards. They went ahead and they teamed up to get my primary Facebook account scrubbed off the Facebook servers in the middle of my auction. I was raising money for families. Um, and so that's what they did. Fucking bastards. I really wasn't that bothered. I had quite a few different accounts. So I just reactivated another account and I was back on live. But it was this thing of like, how rude. That account had the full 5,000 friends you're allowed on Facebook. And then I had something like 20 something thousand followers. Fruit ass bitches. Yeah, that was all scrubbed. Everything that I had ever posted, every message, everything was completely removed like the account never existed. Some people would be pissed because I mean, my business is completely online. Some people would be pissed. I wasn't. I saw it as God was protecting me. Totally, totally. There might have been something that was posted, something that was written, that was posted or written as some type of joke. I got a weird ass sense of humor. And that potentially could have been misrepresented to paint me in a way that's inaccurate. So go ahead, take the account. I don't care. I, I was just like, I don't care, whatever. It is what it is. I was so unbothered that my girlfriend, one of my besties, I gotta show you guys. She made a she she made a picture of me. She's like, "This is so you, girl." It cracked me up because it's accurate. It's accurate. Let me just find it really quick. It's here. Don't worry, it's here. La 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 la. Bow to your partner. That here it is. Then you turn around. It's hilarious. It cracks me up. Whenever I look at this, it cracks me up. Where did it go? Did I just like scroll it out? Oh, did I just delete it? Oh no, it's right here. Here. Look. She put whack a Emmy. She cracked me up. I was like, girl, girl, because literally within, I'd say 2 minutes of them having scrubbed my account, I just reactivated another account. And I was like, hey guys, sorry we were interrupted. Let everyone know this is my new account. And I was not bothered. You have to begin understanding and accepting that sometimes when things don't go your way, it's for you. It's for your benefit. It is for your benefit. So whatever this is that's supposed to happen and be initiated today, this is not something you can sweep under the rug. I'm assuming this is gonna be something that it's going to be unique to each person. It's going to be very, very unique to each person. And it's going to initiate a cycle where you can finally see that part of what you need to decide is the way in which you're going to heal. This is healer, right? Healer. Healer. Okay. There's like this low grade message that's kind of like popping up. It ties into what was shared before regarding Lemuria, regarding something being allowed to come up from the deep, from very, very deep. And that thing, it's basically seeking out all those who have been practicing some type of energy work, possibly witchcraft, alternative magical things, right? Magical practices, energetic practices. It's seeking those people out first. And remember how the message came through where it's like, unless you are born as a sorcerer or a sorceress, meaning you have these gifts that they're just there, your practices might not be able to protect you. And I think all of this has to do with the ways in which these fallen pathways that were really just forced open by fallen things, those are being cleared out. They're being cleared out. Now, you guys might, or who, if my social media person clips this and posts it, some people, especially like on TikTok, because that's an entire cluster fluff of a platform. Some people might be like, "Oh, she's just trying to say that she's the only one that's gonna blah blah blah." Shut up. Why do you keep watching my shit? I'm evil, remember? And so whatever. Anyways, for those people, what you need to understand is this. All the COVID babies, they're just like me. Every single last child that was born slightly before COVID, and especially once COVID happened, they're all just like me from infancy. Creation is phasing out the fallen lines. Are you aware? The reason humanity became aware of war, tactical maneuvering, armor, weaponry, magical practices, astrology, was because a specific fallen one gave us the information. It was an internal tunneling into your field that was occurring. You see, the ones who are born just like me, the ones who are natural sorcerer, sorceress type morphogenetic template, they are the stewards. Those pathways were left open because those are the people who are tasked with maintaining the balance. And honestly, they tend to be the ones that the false bringers of light so savagely attack for no reason. It brings to mind this phrase, tell me you're intimidated by me and my power without saying it. Oh, right. Attack me and accuse me of being evil. Right. Okay. Okay. So all of that is being cleared out. Now, for those who are dabbling in those things and you're not harming anyone, um, you need to make sure you find a way to truly secure your dwelling. There's plenty of ways to do it, but it has to be done in layers. And you need to make a decision at this point how much you will commit to securing your dwelling. Okay. So the people who are going to be commenting, if this goes on TikTok, and the people who are going to be commenting, I'm perfectly fine, good for you. None of my videos are for you. Keep scrolling. You know what this means? It means get the fuck out of here and keep scrolling. Yeah, I'm going to be nasty because I'm sick of people like that. So for those who are like, how would I do that? What would be a good way for you to do that? I mean, there's so many different ways. Mm, I got to write this down really quick. Um, Soul is giving me another thing to teach for my Baneful Magic workshop. Um, okay. All right. So everything is needing to be put in place before before next spring. Okay. That means making sure your mindset is actively being shifted. You want to shift it 1 degree at a time. You want to make sure that whatever it is that you choose to do, it is done in layers, right? Layers, so that if one layer fails, another layer behind it can help to catch whatever's trying to come through. Um, Okay. Um, I just want to sing church songs. This is intense. Um, okay, what I'm going to do is this. Soul was giving me messages. Messages yesterday. Soul often will speak to me in ways that are nonverbal. Okay. So let me give you all of, oh, okay. All right. So there, all of this. Soul was giving me a lot of messages, a lot. And I'm going to show you guys how this plays out. So let me airdrop this to myself. So your intention during this period is not going to matter. Even if you intend to not allow things through, so long as you're not taking the appropriate steps, it's not going to matter what your intention is, because there's something that was greenlit. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So, well, you know what? Maybe I just go from here. Okay. You ready to get freaked out? Because this is scary. It is. It's ugly. It's ugly. But and I'm not going to say. I want you to just look at the images and kind of see where your mind takes you. All right. So if you scare easy, you should probably look away from me until I tell you it's safe to look. Okay? All right. Sorry. I took myself off screen here. All right. So there. Do you understand? Do you understand what's being initiated today? There is so much that I am being told and have been being told. So much. And these messages, this. Those who were banished are being allowed to return. Oh, it's right here. Hex, banish, but it's in reverse. Those who were banished are being allowed to return. And everything that's happening right now is basically guidance as to how for you, how you will navigate through this. Right? I mean, oh, give me 1 second. Un momento, por favor. I forgot to add this to my list of things. Here we go. All right. Oh, my bad. And let me freaking A. Every freaking night and every freaking day. Here we go. There. Oh. There. Okay. So much energy is surging right now. It is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Okay. There. Dang, it suddenly got real hot. Okay. Here we go. That event right there, secured spaces, November 2nd. Just in time for just in time for, stuff. Just in case I don't make it home tonight, let me make love to you for the last time, baby. I love that song. Okay. Let's get on with the reading. I need to take a nap before I go live later. I'm going live later today on TikTok. Okay, it's time to release negativity. Oh, let me get this off the screen. Hold on. Where are you? Okay. It's time to release negativity. Whatever this negativity is, it could be something from the past, it could be something from the present, it could be a mindset, it could be the ways in which you are far too comfortable with self-abnegation. It needs to be released, it needs to be let go of. It just, it just needs to. It just needs to. Okay? Don't let pride get in your way. The decisions that need to be made must be made now. Give me 1 second, guys. The decisions that must be made now. The card says, don't let pride get in your way. whatever this is, you need to heal the part of you that has felt inferior, insufficient, that has felt like you and your efforts were not enough to prevent, to protect, to provide. That needs to be pushed out, because you know what? You need to decide right now to take that step forward and liberate yourself to make the decisions that are necessary. If you don't do this, the next card, expect powerful change, but it's in reverse. There will be no change. It will stagnate. It will prolong. The suffering will intensify. And you're the one that's deciding this. Okay. You need to make sure that you decide whatever it is that needs to be decided. It's the fear. Work through your fear. It's the fear of being insufficient, the fear of not being enough, the fear that even when you try, when you put your full effort into this, whatever it is that's going to happen is going to be something that will just further confirm how unworthy you are. I think you need to remember something. For those of us who struggle with that sense of self-worth, right? With your true value. God doesn't make mistakes. You were created to be exactly as you are, even right now, even who you were back then, and especially who you're still in the process of becoming. All of this is very intentional. Everything about you was carefully calibrated to get you to the next part. You're going through a hardship right now. What you're learning in the hardship is going to be the very thing that gets you to the next part. So be present. Allow yourself to go through what is necessary so that you can be made to be so uncomfortable that you choose to no longer stay in that space of mediocrity, that space of thinking you're not enough. And so now you have to overcompensate. You have to hide the reality of who you are. You have to make your decisions based on saving face, minimizing the damage to your ego. Like, a decision must be made. It must be made now. And I think it must be made now because you've been through enough. I don't think it's this message of this decision must be made now because you're at risk, you're going to lose everything. I don't think so. That's not the feeling that I get. The feeling that I get has more to do with, haven't you had enough? Aren't you done? Because I mean, maybe it's time to just stop. The other day I was working out, and pretty much everyone at that gym knows I'm there for like hours, literally hours. And it was this thing of the other day, one of our gym buddies, um, he quickly walks past me, and I think he was heading home. He's like, "Go home already." And I was like, "No." Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, I had already been there a couple hours. And he was basically telling me to go home, like, "That's enough." And I said, "No." And then not long after that, my glutes started to cramp. My glutes started to cramp. And then my low back started to cramp. And then I could feel all these other muscles in my quads, in my calves, everything was starting to cramp. And I still kept going, which I should not have. That was very irresponsible. I still kept going though. I rationalized, if I just do a little bit of a lighter weight, like 5 pounds less, I could do it. I could bang them out. And then I felt something. And what I felt was the potentiality for severe injury. It felt very uncomfortable. And I was like, okay, now I'm done. Okay, I'll stop. I'll stop now. I'll stop. Sometimes that discomfort is the very thing that's preventing you from continuing forward in order to protect you from the worst case scenario happening. Divinity is profound in the ways it prevents you from being harmed. Yeah, I'm really stubborn. I am. I'm very, very stubborn. And so oftentimes it has to be a very elevated thing that I cannot ignore for me to accept the messages from soul. Yeah. You know, it is what it is. Get on board because a new start is coming. A new start is coming. Beautiful change is being slated for you. You can fight everything else, just don't fight yourself. That was Michael's advice for me a few years ago. I was created to be a fighter. I fight everything. I rebel against everything. You want to force me? Good. I'm not going to do it. Fuck you. Yeah. If you really want me to do something, you just ask me. Ask me nicely. I'll probably say yes. Probably. I'll probably say yes. You try and force me, you try and dominate me, you try and attack me. Fuck you. I'm not giving in. I don't give a shit. I don't care if you're right. You're not going to make me do something I don't want to do. However, if you ask me nicely, if you reason with me, hey, Emmy, I need your help to do something. Do you think you could do this? Would you mind? I'll probably say yes. I'll probably say yes. So, it's one of those things where because I'm the way I am, the messages from soul need to be extra, 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 extra. So Michael says to explain to you what I felt when I was like, okay, the potentiality for injury is there. I should stop. I could feel the muscle imbalance between my quadriceps and my hamstrings on one leg. Um, and because my tibialis, my shin muscle, I hadn't been working it out for quite a few months. So that was atrophied. When you have the front and the back fighting, the bottom has to be able to withstand that fighting that's happening within the muscles. The bottom was not strong enough. So what I felt was that moment before my knee dislocated backwards. So, like, okay, your knee bends like this, right? So, this is your leg, this is your knee, it bends like this, right? I know I do weird shit with my fingers. It bends like this. I was standing there preparing for another round of very heavy deadlifting, like double my weight. My knee was trying to go like this. It was trying to bend backwards. And I could feel my quad fighting it. It was twitching, 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 like it's fighting it, right? And I could feel my bone was like, and I was like, no, no, I gotta sit down. I gotta stop. I stop. I'll stop now. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I promise. I stop. I can stop. I'll stop. I'll stop. I'm stopping. At which point I took off all my braces, sat down on that bench, and I began digging my elbow into my quads to help it relax. Yeah. That's the severity of how hard-headed I can be. Have you ever had your knee bend the opposite way towards your butt? And it wasn't just going to be a hyperextended knee. I could feel the head of my femur giving way. I was like, yeah, no, girl. No, we don't need that. We don't need torn ligaments. We already done that. We've been there. We don't need that anymore. We don't. If you listen to what your soul is telling you and you make your decisions based on what your soul is guiding you to, you don't have to be injured. You don't have to be injured. It's up to you though if you feel like you really need to take it that far. I hope you have good insurance. Because I knew if I didn't sit down at that point and stop my bullshit, I would have a torn ACL. I could feel that. I could absolutely feel that. Yeah. And I was like, no, thank you. No. We're not doing that this time. Have faith in your dreams. Your dreams, your dreams are actually your soul's way of reminding you what the game plan was before you came into this life. There was already a game plan that your soul had laid out. And your dreams are simply reminding you, like, hey, okay, remember, this is what we need to do at this point. It's leading you to that point. This is the end goal. And it just needs to be listened to. Okay. This is not a new chapter. This is a closing off of this current chapter. It's up to you, though. It's up to you what you're going to decide. Because look, choices. You need to make a choice. You need to decide something intense. I don't know what the intense thing you need to decide is, but it's intense. It is very, very intense. Excuse me. Hold on really quick. There's a lot of frequency coming through. There's like a lot of frequency coming through. Okay. If you can't trust in yourself yet, because for some of us, for most of us, that's going to be a process of learning how to trust yourself again. Then you just hold on to hope. Okay. Hold on to the hope, that you are adhering to what your soul wants you to do. Okay. This has to do with your human existence, Mother Earth. It has to do with your in real life human existence. This is not just some metaphoric thing. It is not just some poetic analogy. I'm speaking in literal terms. Whatever's happening right now, whatever's being slated, whatever's being slated, it is definitely something that will affect your day-to-day life. It's going to affect your day-to-day life. Okay. Worlds within worlds. This is going to make it impossible for you to keep hiding the profound nature of you. Do you understand how deeply hidden you've been your whole life? It's crazy. It's crazy. Because we think like we mask only to a certain degree. And oftentimes we fail to realize just how much we've hidden ourselves. Um, we recently saw my husband's relatives. And mind you, keep this in mind, okay? My husband and I have been together for like 25, going on 26 years. So you would think that, his relatives would have some solid idea of who I am, how I am, right? I mean, that's how normal people would be. And that's how normal people would be, right? And you know what's funny? I was speaking with them about a situation that happened with one of his cousin-in-laws had passed, and they were talking to me about that. And it was a cardiac event, and then I kind of volunteered some information. I was like, "Oh, because they use the electrodes to provide cardiac shock. Um, like what happened was this. I don't know if you guys know this, and I'm fairly certain you won't find anything online about this. I have an awareness that if you store a lot of trauma in your body, you constantly just stuff it all down, stuff it all down, stuff it all down. If you end up having some type of cardiac event and they use the electrodes on you, you know how they shock your heart, right? Like clear, right? If they use that, it actually causes all of the trauma that's been stored in your body through all your fascia because of the charge. It all concentrates around the pericardium, the sac around the heart. It goes in there. That's basically fascia. It goes into there. So it's all concentrated right there around your actual heart. So if they shock you, it goes all there. And then what ends up happening for most who have tremendous amounts of stored trauma, they experience a condition called cardiogenic shock. Science can't explain it, but I know what's happening. hmm The trauma continues to accumulate. And because that sac surrounds your heart, it compresses it, reducing your heart function. Every minute, every hour, that function reduces, reduces, reduces until you inevitably suffer from cardiac arrest. I know because that's how my mom died. And I shared this with my husband's relatives, and one of his aunts was just astonished, like, and I was like, yeah, that's why. Um, if I had been allowed to assist, if I was aware and I had been allowed to assist, I would have immediately began clearing the trauma from the fascia purge, straight up, just clear it all out, muscle twitching through the whole body. Um, an epileptic seizure, but you're preserving the heart. So, you know, um, and then it kind of brought everything home because his aunt was just in absolute disbelief. Disbelief because what she said was something along the lines of, our family never knew that you're so well spoken. And I was like, huh? What? They'd never heard me speak that way. I've known my husband for 25, going on 26 years. And there was a question of, when did you know, how old were you when you began developing your gifts? And I just looked at her and I was like, I was just born this way. I've always been this way. And she basically was like, our family never knew. And I was like, I don't like showing people. I don't like showing people. It's only since I've been doing the work that I do now that people are being allowed to witness this aspect of me. That's only now. It's only now. It's just been within the last, I don't know, 3, 4 months, maybe 5 months. I'd say no more than 6 months that I'm speaking about the fact that I'm capable of etheric medicine services. Yeah. You know, oftentimes the things that you hide about yourself are the most powerful parts of you, the parts of you that were designed to be a gift unto others, either by just allowing them to witness you or by choosing to interact with them using that aspect of yourself. You have no idea how much hiding of you're doing. And it broke my heart because the cousin whose spouse had passed, I felt really bad. She said, had we known that this is what you do, he'd still be here. I don't know. But I definitely would have tried. I would have tried to help. Had I known, I would have tried. I would have offered. I don't know if he'd be here. So it's this thing of now you need to make the decision to understand what you are worth, not just how you deserve to be treated, but how you deserve to treat yourself. Light code injection. For many of us, we're going through a massive ascension cycle. This is the period for the start of it. If you choose to be compliant, if you choose to be fully present through your process, starting right now, you don't have to experience trauma for those codes to be received and go active. You don't. You can choose to just allow it in and allow the process of integration, right? You can choose that. If you don't choose that, then it will be a process that is very drawn out, very difficult. It's not to scare you. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you this so that you know what your options are and the potential outcomes of what you choose. Okay? For some of us, it's hard. It might even be more accurate to say it's impossible for us to accept the sheer gravity of our presence without experiencing the polar opposite of what it is we're destined to experience. We're destined to live our destiny, basically, right? I get it. I get it. I had to go through quite a bit of just ridiculous bullshit. A lot of pain. A lot of pain. Um, to get to the next part of accepting the gravity of what I do, the gravity of what I was designed to do. And being told to share this. The process for me to accept the gravity of the messianic level of healing that I can induce in someone, of course, they have to be on board. Messianic level means Messiah level healing, a Messiah level miracle. I'm not a Messiah. I tell you that right now. The process that I had to go through was watching my brother slowly die. His heart function dropped down to 7%. Single digit, 7%. 7% before I really allowed myself to do what I'm capable of doing. And even then, that was what? Springtime of 2021? springtime, early summertime of 2024 is when I publicly released sessions for that type of healing. Even knowing it took me an additional 3 years to accept it. To stop playing this game of gaslighting myself until like it could have been anything. No, it could not have been anything. I know exactly what I did. I know what I asked for. And I know what I did to make that happen. And yes, his care team was a huge part in making sure I was able to do that for him. This game that you're playing with yourself. Well, or you keep saying, but I'm just me. Exactly. Exactly. You are you. Exactly. But I'm no, you are you. That's all you that was a complete sentence. I'm just me. Yes, exactly. That's all you needed to say. That's what you need to accept. And the person that you are was carefully calibrated, meticulously designed to fulfill something only you can fulfill. Only you can do it. I'm just me. That's right. So I'm of the mindset, I'm just me. That's all I can be is just me. This is who I am. That is enough. Who I am is enough for what I was created to do. What is that, Emmy? I don't fucking know. I don't know. But I know I'm living it. I'm living it and struggling to accept it, but it's still happening. It's still happening. How do you know it's happening? Because I'm no longer hiding. Just because of the fact that I'm no longer hiding, I know it's happening. That's all you have to do. Stop hiding. Allow your intuition to guide you. Okay. Allow your intuition to be the very thing that helps you to receive the messages directly from your soul. That intuition is designed to give you clarity. You need to allow yourself to get very, very clear in what it is your soul is trying to tell you about yourself. Ancestral magic in reverse. You're not going to be able to rely on all of these externalized things. You're not going to be calling your ancestors. You're not going to be getting help from the galactics. This is the point where those of us who volunteered and won that soul lottery to incarnate, this is the point where we are being given direct boot camp experience. You're in boot camp right now. How do you make a soldier? You send them to boot camp. Is boot camp fun? I know quite a few people in the military, quite a few. No, it was not fun for them. One of my old coworkers, he was sharing with me a long time ago. He's a Marine, and man, he has heart. He totally has heart. He ended up getting trench foot or something like that during boot camp because they were going for like 18 hours already, and his socks and shoes were wet. He forgot to bring extra socks, and they were doing like a 5 or 10 mile run, some crazy ass thing. And he ended up getting severe blisters along his entire foot, both feet. And he still kept trying to run. And his drill sergeant pulled him out and was like, no, you're out. He still became a Marine, but they're like, no, you're out. Go to the medic. Like, fuck out of here. You're going to fuck up our whole thing. Go get yourself fixed. Yeah. Hmm. Had another friend who he went through boot camp. I forgot for which branch of the military, but he ended up experiencing he ended up experiencing psychosis because he wanted to go home. I was like, "You're so weak. What's wrong with you?" Yeah. Boot camp ain't fun. Boot camp is not fun. I remember one of my brothers, he was like, I think 17, and one of his best friends, he's a little gangbanger, right? One of his best friends was also a little gangbanger. And the sister worked for a news channel, and they were going to do a special on boot camp for teens. And it was called the Devil Pups. It was basically a Marine boot camp because Marines are devil dogs, right? So it's the Devil Pups. It was a Marines boot camp for teens, those who are having trouble with self regulation and being naughty. So him and his they go into there. It's a couple weeks long. It's out in Camp Pendleton. And man, him and his friends snuck out one time. Called my parents. He's like, "It's so hard." Yeah. And we're taught not to cry. You could tell he was crying. You could tell he was crying. And he was just like, he knew my parents were going to let him come home. He knew he had to stay there for the whole program. But he was expressing his gratitude for how easy they've made his life and how little he's shown gratitude for that. You see, when you go through boot camp, which is what many of us are going through right now, you begin to appreciate the very thing you had no appreciation for. Sometimes you have to swing in the opposite direction. That pendulum that is your life must swing in the opposite direction for you to develop the appropriate degree of awareness and gratitude for when you swing into the appropriate spaces. I see this in my life all the time. It's not for a lack of gratitude. I realize that now. I used to think, like, is it because I'm ungrateful? Am I being punished because I'm ungrateful? No, not at all. I have gratitude for everything. Like, really fucked up shit could happen and be like, I'm going to understand why this is happening at some point, and I'm going to be so grateful. And I'm not even like, I'm not playing a game with myself. I genuinely believe that. And so, what life has shown me that as soon as you make a decision and you stick with it, whatever hardship you're going through suddenly becomes something not so hard. It becomes something that's merely a part of a process that's getting you through to the other side. Life is beautiful in that way. There's a lot of difficulty, there's a lot of pain that we often unknowingly choose because we refuse to learn what we know on some level we need to learn in that moment. If you know you have to learn something and you simply allow yourself to learn it, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Remember, homeless, about 3 years. Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. I still maintain, and my family agrees, that was a very beautiful time in our family's history. So peaceful. It was beautiful. It was like one big adventure. It was beautiful. Most people will not say their stint with homelessness was beautiful and peaceful and like a big adventure. I can. Why? Because I lied to myself? No. Because I allowed myself to see the truth. This is merely a part of a process that ends when I learn what needs to be learned. It wasn't bad at all. It was not bad at all. For many of us, we don't want to do the shadow work. Why? Because you're scared? Do it anyway. Do it anyway. You're going to have to do it, so do it anyways. But I'm scared. Okay, do it while you're scared. No one ever said you had to be not scared. Do you know how much you can get done while you're afraid? I become extremely efficient while I'm afraid. I'm very open to the messages of soul while I'm afraid. It's when I'm at my most afraid that the messages come in the most clearly, because at that point, I'm not fighting. I'm just like, bro, get me a way out of this. This is a fucked up situation. I don't like it. I don't want to be in it. Let me know which way to go. And soul tells me exactly. Exactly. I follow it to a T, and then it's done. Then it's done. See, when you're afraid, that is your soul bringing your attention to the very thing you need to pay attention to. But what do? The opposite. We avoid, we pretend we don't know it. That's how you mess up your journey. That's how you create experiences that are so unnecessary. It only becomes necessary when you force it upon yourself. A decision must now be made. Are you going to burn away the toxicity and the distortions? Are you going to allow yourself to clear the space so you can do what needs to be done and remove the things and people who seek to interfere? For those of you who have a level of loyalty where your loyalty is the very thing that causes you to be accessible by toxic people, I'm not asking you to not be loyal. I'm just saying, because I'm very loyal. If I'm loyal to you, and I'm not going to be loyal to this degree to everyone. No, that doesn't make me an asshole. That makes me a person that's healed. Not everyone deserves that degree of loyalty. But boy, I tell you, if I'm loyal to you, we gonna ride together. Abso-fucking-lutely. There is nothing that I will allow you to experience on your own afraid. Hell no. Hell no. My husband knows this about me too. He knows this about me. I've had to spend quite a bit of my life trying to figure out how to properly function with that depth of loyalty. And you know what I came up with? That I needed to decide that not everyone I come across is worthy of that degree of loyalty. So, yes, I am loyal like you wouldn't believe. Like you wouldn't believe. I am, by definition, a rider. I'm a ride or die. I am, but not for everyone anymore. Only for those that have earned it. And it takes years to earn that. Don't get me wrong, I'll help even random strangers. If my heart is moved to, I will help even random strangers. If the injustice is too great, something needs to be done. Something needs to be said. Attention needs to be brought to that. But I will never, ever sacrifice my peace again for people who didn't deserve that type of loyalty from me. It's okay for you to have standards. It's okay for you to finally allow yourself to see that maybe some of the people you've been loyal to like this, where you allow yourself to do without, to suffer on account of you trying to provide for them. It's okay for you to see the ways in which you've betrayed yourself by doing that. Oftentimes it hurts. Yes. It hurts to realize that we did this to ourselves. And in that pain, I think what's meant to happen, and sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. I think what's meant to happen is that You're meant to feel the pain to the degree that you need to remember not to do that again. Right? You see, I've actually had a subluxation in my knee. It didn't bend backwards. It bent to the side. You're supposed to bend like this, right? It bent to the side like this. Rather than bending like this, it bent to the side. Tore some ligaments. I know what the fuck that feels like. I'm good. I'm so good off that. So when I felt it again the other day doing leg day, okay, I'll sit down now. I nope, I'm not going through that again. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Right? Revolution. You don't have to fight a revolution. You don't have to do something that is intended to be received as revolutionary. Sometimes just by choosing to exist um, unashamed, to exist authentically, that in itself is an act of rebellion so profound that anyone who witnesses you actively being yourself is forever changed. They are forever changed. You guys have seen me continuously perform acts of rebellion by simply being myself and not apologizing for being me. I apologize if I'm wrong. I apologize if I unknowingly hurt you and now I realize you've been hurt. I apologize. I apologize for mistakes. I apologize when it's appropriate to apologize, but I do not apologize for being myself. And if you have a problem with me, that sounds like a you problem, right? One of my kids, it was hilarious. When there was a circumstance, when there was a circumstance of someone being angry with me about the work that I do, one of my kids whispers to me, sounds like they have a skill issue. It sounds like they do. I will no longer apologize for being who I am. As long as you know you are not intentionally trying to hurt someone, why do you have to apologize for your existence? There will be people who will be hurt that you exist. That's their problem, not yours. How have you been affected by witnessing me on a regular basis, having my own little internal revolution of like, no, fuck that. I'm not going to be quiet anymore. I'm not going to hide myself anymore. I'm not going to pretend that I'm mediocre when I'm not anymore. Has that helped you in your journey? Because there will be content creators who will see my content and they'll try and create a similar narrative. It's a narrative because it's all like just fucking hokey pokey shit. They're not actually going through the things they're going through. They're not having these aha moments. They're seeing how my community responds to me and they're trying to copy it. They're trying to mimic it. You see me going through things that are authentic. I make a decision every live stream whether I will share this part or that part or nothing at all about my thoughts, what I'm processing as I'm seeing the messages come through. How does it affect you when I choose to share? Share difficult things, things that make me cry, right? Is it like, oh, I'm going to be like Emmy? Or is it like, damn, I've been through the same shit. I feel that too. You know what? That's right. That's right. I shouldn't be ashamed. She's not ashamed. I'm not ashamed. Neither of us should be ashamed. That's the effect you have on others too. Except you continuously decide to hide it, to hide the gravity of you, the gravity of what you're living through, the gravity of the ways you're learning how to step into your true power. It is time. The time for growth by way of trauma induced accretion or by choice, it's right here, right now. It is right here, right now. And for some of you, this is going to be the reaction you have. It's going to be like, oh my God, please no. I get it. I do. You're like, please no. I just finished a cycle. I know. I know. That's actually not funny. It's hard. These cycles can be intimidating. They can feel very destructive. But really, what's being destroyed is simply the part of you that refuses to allow the most powerful part of you to step forward. That's the only thing being destroyed. You're not actually being destroyed. It's the part of you that refuses to allow the healing, to allow the shadow work to occur, to allow the inner child to experience peace. It's time for you to unify all your parts. It's time for us to come together as a singular people. It's time for a lot of things. It's time for a lot of things. It's also time for renewal. Will you allow it? Will you allow yourself to be renewed, replenished, reconfigured? Mm, mm. Um, so Michael is like, that was good. You got away with not sharing what you were told to share earlier. Because I just showed pictures instead. um so more people are going to be seeing things over the next several months. Part of what's going to be uncovered. I don't want to say this. Um, I'm just, it's just one of them things that a girl goes through when I'm angry inside. Don't want to take it out on you. Okay, so if you scare easy, you shouldn't listen to this. Just letting you know right now. If you scare easy, don't listen to this because it will absolutely freak you out. Um, over the next several months, the occurrence of people, regular people who don't claim to have any gifts, seeing paranormal activity is going to increase. Before or by the start of next year. So, thinking in terms of like end of December, early January. Multiple genuine recordings will be released, showing actual evidence of demonic beings now walking the earth in physical form. So, yeah. So multiple circumstance. There's already There's already evidence that exists. Much of that evidence is hidden away. I'm talking about video after video after video after video. There is, let me just take off my rubber band. There is, hold on. This is making my head start to hurt. All of this information is just, my head is hurting. Michael goes, why is your head hurting? You know why, because I don't want to talk about this kind of stuff. There there was an etheric net. It separated the ocean. There was like, it's like a shield. And after a certain depth, it separates it. Things from the deep. These are things that are from outside the firmament, beyond the Sheol, and it can go under through the water, go under. Those were largely kept out because of a net. It's a net, right? That's being dissolved. That net is being dissolved. In order for specific land masses to rise, that net must be removed. And so it's being removed. There might even be footage of the Leviathans. There's more than one. Leviathan is not the name of a being. I know there's many people who believe it's one thing. No, it's the name of a species. The Leviathans are a species. They answer to Lemuria. So there might be undeniable evidence of Leviathan surfacing. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be happening over the next couple months. And it's up to you how you're going to experience this. You need to make a decision at this point of what you will allow and not allow. You also need to make sure that you really do your part in securing your spaces. If you know someone, I'm not the only one that was born as a technical sorceress. There are others, not a lot, but there are others. I don't know any, so don't ask me for references or referrals. But I'm assuming there will be some who will be able to also assist. I do have a couple events. You guys, all of the wannabes. Oh, I said what I said. All of these wannabes that are so desperate to be seen as powerful, they watch my content after the live stream is done, sometimes even while it's on. They watch it and they look for things that they can talk about as though it's their content. So you need to be careful about people suddenly claiming that they are a sorcerer or a sorceress. The real ones don't disclose that they are. The only reason that I'm even having that conversation and self-identifying is to give you clarity on the subject matter. I've been publicly visible for how many years? How many times have you heard me identify as a sorceress? Is that something that I promote? That I brag about? No, it's like, okay, there's a subject matter, it is what it is. It is what it is. So y'all have to be careful. Everything that's going to be ramping up, it's going to be ramping up. And there are going to be those who are very interested in capitalizing off of your fear. So don't be afraid. Find information. See what resonates with you. And if it resonates, try it out and see, right? The thing that happened at Miami Mall, you, you want my opinion on that? That was a psychological theater. That was not supernatural and it was not authentic at all. That was a teaser for what's being planned. Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam. They're going to be releasing fictitious information. The information that I'm talking about is not part of Project Bluebeam. There's a lot of things that I'm aware of that I don't speak about. Project Looking Glass, Manhattan Project, all kind of projects, right? It's time for you to use your discernment. It's also time for me to go. Yeah, they were seeing how effective, whether they should scale it up or dial it back. They wanted to see if the costumes were believable. They just, wanted to see all these different things. It's almost like they had a checklist to see what they should check off and what they can get away with, right? So, yeah, you need to allow your intuition to greatly develop so that you can understand and feel, so that you could feel and understand what the feelings mean, because your soul is talking to you in that way. I don't have all the answers. I don't. But I do know when soul communicates by way of feel, I need to start listening. Okay. So just a quick reminder, guys. Um, please, um, if you have the feeling of needing to help, let's help this family. We're trying to raise at least $5,000 for the legal fees, and then whatever over the 5,000, we're going to be also giving to help defray the cost of what was done to his dog. For those of you who are not aware, there is a 16-year-old who has been basically indefinitely detained. He's been in jail since last week for a 10-second fight that happened in a high school bathroom between him and a person who is much larger than him and was trying to bully him. Took his things, did not want to give it back, and there were some veiled threats. Okay. And with that, the judge is not willing to hear anything, not willing to receive the information that the other kid, it was mutual combat, first and foremost. Secondly, there was no actual victim. The other kid was not harmed, from what not the prosecutor, public defender had said in court the other day. It was something along the lines of the other child did not even have marks on his face. So, and that the video, because the fight was recorded, The video shows that the other teen was in fact not unconscious. He was conscious and covering his face. The judge didn't care, is holding him without bail for a 10-second fight with no victim, no grievous bodily harm. In addition to that, right before the last court appearance, someone in the neighborhood, his dog got loose, and someone in the neighborhood shot his dog in the head. Tasered the dog and shot him in the head. So the father had to go ahead and bring the dog into the vet before they went to court. So there's that additional cost. I will be launching a GoFundMe once I get the green light for the family so that it can be more widely shared across social media. And everything will go to the family. Whatever is raised will go to the family. For those who would prefer to support by purchasing some fundraiser items, if you go to this QR code or the link in the comment, that's for my Teespring. I made some shirts, sweatshirts, and cups, stickers that you guys can purchase just so we could, you know, raise funds as efficiently as possible for this family. Like, we really need to get this 16-year-old out of jail. That's really not where he belongs. That's not where he belongs. You know, it's fine if they want to continue with whatever legal process. Okay, but to keep him held in jail indefinitely, no bail, that's mm, that's not okay. That's not okay. So I also have the Secure Spaces event that's going to be coming up. If you'd like to check that out, click on the QR code or the link in the comments. I have my Baneful Protection workshop. This is going to be the first event that comes up. It's going to be in about a month. And then I have my Morphogenetic Fundamentals workshop. I'm going to be going live later today on TikTok to do expedites. I unfortunately didn't put the link on here. If you would like me to do some work on you, a reading, a scan, whatever it is, click on this QR code. It takes you to like my Linktree type of page. It has all the info for all events, fundraisers, everything. If you'd like to book a private session, all of that is found on this QR code. This is my Hubi link. The link for tonight will also be there. So, guys, you know, this is this is a difficult period that the world is in. It is. It is just, you know, a difficult period. Very, very difficult period for many families. Not just Scrappy's family, but for many families. I understand that most of us are experiencing our own struggles and instability and everything. So for all of you who are able to donate in some way, it's even more deeply appreciated, knowing the state of the world, knowing the state of the economy and everything. It's even more deeply appreciated. I will also be donating to this family. I don't want to disclose the amount, but it will be a considerable amount. So thank you guys so much for sharing this space with me. Thank you for being part of my community and just being reflections of the most beautiful part of me living outside of myself. You have no idea how much your presence is appreciated by me personally and my entire family, too. I love you guys. I will see you again very soon. If you have nothing to do in about an hour and a half, go join me on TikTok. I'm going to be over there fucking shit up. No, I'm going to be doing expedites. I'm not fucking nothing up. I'm not going to fuck anything up. I'm just going to do expedites. You guys come over there, have some fun with me, and I'll see you guys again very soon. Please Make sure you like, follow, and share. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live.